Mock the mock draft here. Mike Payton from A to Z Sports just dropped a 7-round Detroit Lions mock draft with trades. We're going to go over this mock draft, give you my thoughts on it. I always like what he does, the work that he does, because I think that him and I think a lot. So we're going to go over this bad boy, grade this mock draft and everything. Let's get it started right now. All right, folks, go to A to Z Sports if you want to see it for yourself. This is Mike Payton's 7-round mock draft. Part of the offseason is we're going to be doing mocking the mock. Who does mock drafts? We're going to go over it and give you my thoughts on this bad boy. So this one does have trades. He went balls to the wall on this one. Trades of the whole thing and player trades. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Here we go for mock draft. The first pick, he trades down with the Chargers. The Lions are right now sitting at pick 17. He has the Lions trading with the Chargers. They move a few spots down, and they receive the 54th pick. They have to give away 228 and 255. Low round picks, who cares, right? So the Lions get an extra second-round pick. I like this trade a lot. This is where Brad Holmes can do his damage, right? Is in the late first round, early second round. We've seen it throughout his tenure. And so this is the spot that I would love for Lions to get some extra draft picks. So here, I love it because I've seen who also they drafted. So I think that they get a player in this draft who would be at 17, and you get him at 22. And that's Caleb Lomu, the offensive tackle from Utah. I talked about him in my top 5 draft picks that the Lions should look to target in round 1. He is a guy that would fit what they're looking for at tackle. He can play left, he can play right, and he can play on the interior if Taylor Decker decides to stay one more year. He's a versatile player. So he can play the guard if need be this year. So you're getting a player that's actually going to play. Now, what do you guys think? Grade this trade and selection, A, B, C, D, or F. Give me your thoughts on this one. Lomu, again, stud player. I think he could be a Taylor Decker type of guy. Really can. With 47th pick, the Lions pick up Kamari Ramsey, safety from USC. As you know, we have a lot of issues with the safety position right now. You got Kirby Joseph dealing with a knee. Brian Branch, we don't know when he's going to be back. I'm going to assume halfway through the season, maybe like week 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there. So Lions do have issue at safety. And Kamari Ramsey is a player, folks. Look, he's pretty damn good, right? He diagnoses plays quick, so he reacts fast. He's multi-dimensional. He can play corner, nickel, and a little bit of linebacker. He's great in mirroring technique against the whoever he's going against at wide receiver, tight end. He's a missile. He likes to tackle and hit. He likes to pound, but he does take aggressive angles, and that can hurt him too. Sometimes he can be out of position. But this kind of does remind you of a Brian Branch type of player. Versatile, likes to hit. Now, I'm not at all. I don't think he is the great of Brian Branch in regards to technique or anything. But he would be a good selection if one of these guys can't come out there. And I think he could be a plug-and-play guy. I truly do. I wouldn't worry too much about if they took him, that he could hold the fort down from what I've seen. Now, next says trade down with the Raiders. The Lions don't have a third-round pick, so they want to get one. And we all know that the Lions are probably going to want to get a third-round pick. I think we all know that. So the Lions get the 65th pick, the 101st pick. The Raiders get the 54th pick, and the Detroit Lions make a blockbuster trade for Kayvon Thibodeau, edge from the New York Giants. Now, I don't know I don't know if this would occur if the Giants would be willing to give up Kayvon Thibodeau, but this is killing two birds with one stone. You're getting your edge. You know what you have with him. He is not a rookie. You know exactly what you got with Kayvon Thibodeau. Him and Aiden Hutchinson would wreak havoc. He's still on his rookie deal. So the Lions don't have to pay him a contract, a mega contract this year if they didn't want to do that. I talked about it before the trade deadline. I would love for the Lions to get Kayvon Thibodeau. Oh my goodness. I think this would solve a lot of issues on defense. We made a trade before for a player we didn't keep, right? That was Carlton Davis. So it's not like out of the realm of possibility of him not doing that if they want to make a trade for a one-year rental, or you could extend him. What do you guys think? Would you make this trade? T for trade, P for pass. I'm going with hell yes. Yeah. You're getting, look, we've had second and third round picks, Levi Wuzurike, Joshua Pascal, that haven't panned out. Wouldn't you can take a draft pick like that and get a guy with Kayvon Thibodeau. You know what you have with him. This would be epic move. I give this an A move. I would consider this an A move. So far, so good. Mike Payton, knock it out of the park. So now the Lions pick up Parker Bracefield, center from Alabama. I've talked a lot about center, especially Proctor from Alabama, or I've talked a lot about a center because of Tyler Linderbaum. And I talked a lot about players from Alabama like Kaydyn Proctor because obviously our general manager studies Alabama quite a bit, and he was there already at a couple games. Parker Bracefield would be a good groomer. Tyler Linderbaum, and he has in here the Lions attacking and getting Tyler Linderbaum. If Lions get Tyler Linderbaum in free agency, they won free agency, and I would be happy. And then you draft Parker Brailsford, who right now is a developmental player. He's actually he's great in pass protection. His mobility is really nice, but he's inconsistent, and he needs to be around guards that are stronger. So he can develop this year. Sit behind Tyler Linderbaum. If there is injuries, we have our backup center, right? He can develop. I think this would be a huge, it's forcing the Lions to make sure that we don't have what happened this year happen next year. Building the offensive line. You pick up Tyler Linderbaum in free agency. You draft a center in the late rounds. We're here at 101. The guard position, you have Miles Frazier and Mahogany, who you drafted last year. You get, and here you take a tackle. The Lions' offensive line is fixed in one off season. One off, and you got young too. Penei Sewell's young, Mahogany's young, Frazier's young. Hey, Tyler Linderbaum's 25. He's young rookie. Then you would have a young offensive line, not aging, young. Less injuries, better. So I love this pick. Then they're going pick Barber Tours with a edge pass rusher, developmental guy, 6'4", 247, sophomore. So look, this would be another developmental edge. We got Kayvon Thibodeau earlier. This guy probably could play. He's 247, so he's a little bit lighter. Maybe he could play a little bit of linebacker too. Developmental guy. That would be it, right? He could immediately play on special teams, but he'll have great games where he'll be blowing up. Then he'll have games where he's at. Inconsistent. So I wouldn't mind this at all because we already got an edge and we got a developmental. I'm fine with that. What do you guys think? Should the Lions double up on the defensive line? In this case, they did for A to Z Sports, and I agree. And again, he could play linebacker too a little bit. So at least I believe so. So what do you guys think? Grade so far this mock draft, A, B, C, D, or F. Let's continue on. Dallin Bentley, tight end, Utah. We need a tight end. I mean, what is there else to say? The Lions have had injury to Brock Wright, Sam Laporta. Shane Zylstra didn't do a whole lot of anything. You get a developmental tight end. And I think they will draft a tight end in this year's draft. I like it. I'm 1,000% fine with it. I like Fursker too, and I don't mind him coming back to compete for the number 4 tight end spot. But let's get this thing squared away for 2026. We missed Laporta. We missed Brock Wright. We missed having a player that can tear up the middle when those injuries occurred, because that's what they did. And we don't have that. Lions here get a tight end. So there you go. That is Mike Payton's mock draft. I got to say, looking at this mock draft, I'm going to give it an A grade. I love the trades. Getting Kayvon Thibodeau was a no-brainer. He built the trenches up completely, and I think that's how the Lions win. Build the trenches, build the trenches, build the trenches, then get some defense. Do that, I think the Lions could be solid. Now, I'd like them to get a running back, because I do think that if they do trade away David Montgomery, I think it'd be nice to get a young running back. Splitting hairs here. But other than that, this is a damn good mock draft. So give me your thoughts in the comments below. With that said, folks, adios.